Good evening, YouTubers. Reloading Bench back with you once again. Or as my YouTube handle is going to be called, Reloaders Bench, at Reloaders Bench. So I think when I first started my YouTube channel, I named my ID Reloader. And then I decided Reloading Bench. So I'm all over the map. But maybe we're making a video tonight, maybe we're not, because I can't remember. I've ordered some things, and I don't know that this is one of the things I'm waiting on to finish, potentially. Oh, it is. Okay, good. All right, so this will be the last, I think I've said that for 2 videos now, the last update to the Hornady Lock and Load, Hornady Case Prep Center. See, that just fell into place. And the reason this will be the last video is because, in fact, I thought the previous video was going to be the last video until somebody pointed this out to me. If I can get it unwrapped, unbagged. And this is the universal trim length gauge for the Lock and Load Case Prep Center, or your Lock and Load cam lock trimmer. So apparently you insert this tool in between the cutter and the shell holder. The Lock and Load universal trim gauge will allow you to come within 1/100th of a desired length case. Fine-tuning may be necessary after setting the tool with this gauge. So the only reason this is important, and I'll probably make a separate video, is we did some 308 at the range, and some of them wouldn't feed. In fact, the ones that wouldn't feed are in here. And where I was going with this was I had hand measured everything to ensure it was the appropriate length. And I don't remember how much brass might or might not grow from being fired, because right now it's case fired. But if memory serves, these were supposed to be 1.9, I can't remember. Let me pull out some resized, some correctly resized 308. So this piece of brass was done on the Hornady Case Prep Center, and it's coming in at 1.2 1.2010-ish, maybe. 2.1 would be right there. 2.1 is right there, so 1.211, 1.2011. 1.201, yeah, or so. I think the total case length gauge was 2.8. Was it 2.8? I can't remember. Getting too old. In any case, the whole point of this video is, those are my previously shot. These are my, difference being primer, no primer. These are my resized, we'll do 3. These are my resized and chamfered into bird. Everything was done on the Hornady Case Prep Center. 1.20, catching a burr, 1.5, 1.2013, 1.20, oh, this is a shorty, 0.5-ish. All right, so the whole point of this particular gauge is to take the guesswork out of what I was doing setting up the Universal Case Prep Center. And let's see if this is going to play nice. Looks like we have some tape. Some tapeage. All right. So this feels like, oh, it's aluminum. Methinks. We got magnet going. No, it's aluminum. All right, so it's kind of heavy duty, thick. How thick? Oh, that's cool. And you even get a little, so you don't need instructions. Instructions are printed on the material. 0.125. What's that, 1/8 of an inch? So I thought I would pull the Hornady Case Prep Center out. We'll set these 3 pieces of brass off to the side. I will not lock it to the bench because we're just going to tinker a little bit. So I will be back momentarily. All right, so depending on whether or not I am going to mix the old video with this video or cut that one out, we now have the case, the cover, and dun 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 dun, we are supposed to, so right now this is set for that was set for 308. So here's my cartridges. One moment please while I get my shell holder. All right, so here is my box of goodies. Camera naturally in the way. And there's my shell holders. Feels a little funny with the camera like right in my face. Did I? Nope. I'm hoping. All right, it's not an H35 because that feels way too big. It's not a number 5 because that's way too big. It might be a number 1 because that feels pretty good. Oh, you know what? Is it in here? Wow, I'm a dumbass. I haven't even started drinking yet. Dumbass. All right, that number 1 felt pretty good. Gee, I wonder if I had the wrong one in there. Dumicus. Dumosity. All right. Let me... if memory serves, I have to take this out. Oh, I don't want to do that. But I guess I have no choice. Actually, let me double check. I think that's the correct. Well, number 1. Looks like this could fit too. Holy moly. I wonder. Son of Beach. Okay, so this was supposed to be there we go. I wonder if in my zest for setting this up, I wasn't paying enough attention to the fact of which all right, so we're going to do this 2 ways. We're going to use this one simply because that's what I used, but I think the number 1 actually fits better, more snug. Yeah, I'll have to see what number that is. No idea. All right, so for setup purposes, it says shell holder, which is obviously right here, and I'm thinking that the shell holders are all going to be the same size, same thickness. So, shell holder and cutter. Shell holder, cutter. Okay. Shell holder, cutter. So, according to this, I could come down a little bit more. I've got a hair between 308. This is kind of cool. So this would take all the guessing out. Yeah, so I was cutting a little bit longer than is recommended. So I'll tell you what, I will set this up. Maybe I'll switch the number 1, so I'll spare you the pain of watching me do that. I will switch number 1, and then maybe we'll cut these 3 to that particular length and see what the difference is. And we'll bust out the book. So back in a few. Just so you know, I had the H2, which, I mean, 308 fit in there, but the number 1 fits it more snugly, in my opinion. So that's one issue. Second issue, with the camera being in the way, is we're going to find out the thickness. So we're at 5.05. This is actually a tad thicker. 5.010. Interesting. All right, we'll pop this in, and then we'll put everything back together, and then we'll take our measurement and rotate this around a little. All right, so if that is my brass, oh wow, that's too, that is too, you can't see it, but the head of the how much of this will get edited out. Motherfucker. Too many screws. Stop screwing around. Okay, there we go. Let's see if that will let me come back in. There we go. All right, so the reason I took this out was because the stem was too far extruded down, and you can't see it right now, but it's starting, the more you screw this top bolt right here, the more that stem pushes down. You can see the impression. And what was happening was this was being pushed just enough to prevent that from allowing the case to come in. All right, so now, if everything is okay, this is the number 1 case, and apparently it's not. We'll be back. All right, so when I sit down, I don't know if it's a visual thing, I have no issues putting the case in and taking it out. And I'm noticing that I think the 1 does fit better than H2. So I don't know what H is Hornady. I don't know what H2 means, because there is no H on this one. It just says 1. So it's in there. And when I do this, it's locked in pretty good. So we'll take another measurement, and we will see where we're at with 308. 308 is right here. You can see there's a very small step in between 6.5 and 308. Very small difference. So the shell holder, I have to make sure the shell holder doesn't catch the 6.5 or the 243 Winchester for that matter. All right, so let me bend down and checky. Oh wow, that's a big difference. Again, the thickness of this particular that's a biggie diff. All right, so what we're going to do is loosen that, and we'll play the micro adjustment game. Excuse me if my bald ass head is in the way. This takes all the guesswork out. Okay, because I cannot move it, we have hit rock bottom. All right, let me tighten that up, and then hit that a few times, and then see if we're still on the 308. Yes, we are right there to my level of comfort. So, tell you what we're gonna do. We will trim, wrong tray. We will trim these 3. All right, let me set this up. By setting up, that just means plugging it in. All right, so we've set the case gauge length for the trimmer with the new shell holder to 308 Winchester. We will take these previously trimmed. So this is coming in at 2.015, 14, 10, 110. It's coming in all over the place depending on what burr it hits. All right, so we're going to say, holy shit, we're going to say 10. Let's just see if we get any shavings. How about that? So I'm not seeing any shavings. So that tells me that this one was okay. .015. That one was okay. And this is a shorty, so this one definitely won't do anything. All right, so the next question is, does it make sense to come a little closer to there's still a fraction of an inch. All right, so we're right on it and we're locking the plate in, whereas before we had a little bit of movement. So no shuffle. I mean, there's movement in the sense that it's right there. All right, let's see what we got. Gonna get any shavings tonight? Nope. So I'm going to call bunk on the shavings. So we were pretty dialed in previously with the, I see a little bit of shaving. Let me do this one again. Okay, so we're going to say that from a practicality point of view, we were right on the money previously. And let's see if I can get this to come off. Very, like minuscule shavings. Not worth losing sleep over. But I will say, this makes it a whole lot quicker and easier to set up the cutter with the correct shell holder. Very fast. I mean, you're just dialing it right in, as opposed to taking an old piece of brass, trimming it, testing it, trimming it, testing it. So I will say this. Let's see, we'll get a picture here. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. And I'm guessing somebody may ask, so we will take 308 Winchester and see what this comes down to. But you got to remember, this isn't the measure of the brass. This is just for curiosity's sake. 1.890, because you've got your shell holder to account for, and that was the difference between that and 2.00 and some change. 2.0 to 2.015, I think. Yeah, 2.15. 2.015. All right. And I believe I'd have to bust the book out, and I believe I'm still within range on all those. So now we're going to say goodbye to the Hornady Case Prep Center.